We're in the midst of a mass mortality event of frogs, and it's a scale that we've never seen before.
As we battle COVID-19, frogs are fighting their own pandemic.
Sick frogs are turning up on people's doorsteps, particularly green tree frogs, and then they're just dropping dead in the course of a day or so, which is incredibly alarming.
In the past few months, scientists have received 1,400 reports of dead frogs, including shriveled specimens in the mail.
People are finding 30, 40 or more frogs sort of all over their deck, in their house, lining the sort of paths and on the side of the roads.
Researchers are racing to figure out what's wiping them out.
Trying to reach a diagnosis before a species goes extinct or before there are broad-scale population changes.
It's kind of a murder mystery, it really is. We don't understand exactly what's going on right now, and therefore we don't understand what impact it's having and what we need to do to stop it from happening in the future.
Frogs are sensitive little creatures. They're the first animals to respond to pollution or climate change. That's because they absorb the environment through their skin.
Partly they breathe through it, they drink through it, and so when something affects their skin, they lose the ability to sort of get any kind of salts or water into their skin, and they actually can die really rapidly from a heart attack.
They're like the canary in the coal mine, an early warning that something's wrong with the environment.
When they start to disappear, we really need to start worrying. There's huge flow-on consequences for our whole ecosystem. Tadpoles eat algae, and so we know from the places where we have lost frog species what impact it can have. So the streams start to fill up with algae, all the other animals that rely on frogs for food start to disappear. So we need them around, we need them for our healthy ecosystems and for our very own survival.
Scientists are working through freezer loads of dead frogs, conducting countless autopsies in the search for answers.
Just by swabbing these shriveled frogs, we're actually getting some really amazing clues as to what might be going on.
One possible culprit is a type of fungus that's been in Australia for several decades.
Something called the amphibian chytrid fungus. We think that it was introduced from overseas and it affects frog skin.
We know that this fungus is a mass killer of frogs. It's globally responsible for nearly a 7% decline in all amphibian populations and the extinction of more than 90 species. In this case, though, we're finding frogs that don't seem to have any evidence of chytrid fungus.
Whether it's a new strain, whether frogs were stressed by something else, or whether it's actually an entirely different kind of disease or parasite that's happening, maybe in concert with the amphibian chytrid fungus. We really don't know.
But one thing's for sure, we can't afford to let them fall silent.
Frogs are a part of an Australian spring and summer. We should be hearing green tree frogs croaking. We need frogs, and we need to definitely be paying attention when these sensitive animals are disappearing and literally dropping dead at our doorstep.
Does it worry you that there's things like that that are happening? You may never have even noticed it, and they could tell us so much about the state of the planet and the environment in which we live?
And I think even just hearing the sound of frogs croaking like that, I realised that's the sound of my childhood. I just never hear those sounds anymore.
Yeah, good point. I like that you've come dressed in support of the frog, Lisa.
I'm in support of Gladys Berejiklian and the green tree frog tonight. There could be more to come.
From expert opinions to in-depth analysis and reporting, the Project YouTube brings you the biggest stories from Australia and around the globe. Hit the subscribe button now for news delivered straight to your feed.